Why were the Inuit banned from using weapons, and why are there restrictions even on traditional arms? Who should they really fear, the polar bear or the man with handcuffs? Imagine a world where spring never comes, where winter lasts 8 months and darkness hides in the sky for half the year. Smartphones are useless. There are no stores, no internet, no food delivery. You're alone against the harshest nature on Earth. This is the Arctic. This is the Inuit homeland. Here, only the prepared survive. You either have knowledge and weapons, or you're simply gone. For an Inuit, a weapon is not a choice. It's not a political right to bear arms. It's survival. A rifle isn't a symbol. It's your chance to come home with food, or not come home at all. It's not a luxury. It's an extension of the hand, like an axe for a carpenter, like a steering wheel for a pilot. Take away the weapon, and you're cutting off a person's hands. You walk on the ice. The wind slices your face like a blade. You know something is watching. A bear won't wait. It will strike. Without a weapon, you are prey. And now imagine someone says to you, weapons are banned, because it's written in some law by people who've never frozen in a tent at 50 degrees Celsius. Absurd? Yes, but for the Inuit, this is their daily reality. A rifle isn't a luxury. It's the backbone of modern Arctic hunting. Without it, you can't get caribou, seal, or even a bird. But this very weapon is being banned more and more. Governments, hiding behind public safety, tighten the laws. Dozens of rifle models used by hunters in Canada, Alaska, and Greenland are becoming illegal, just scratched off the list, as if lives weren't attached to them. These laws are universal in theory, but deadly in practice up north. Licenses are expensive, rules are strict, the paperwork is confusing. You must attend courses, pay fees, prove your reliability. And if you live where there isn't even a road, where electricity runs on a schedule, then you're told, sorry. Many Inuit in remote settlements simply can't meet these requirements. Some can't even read the forms. Their native language isn't taught in local schools. The government does everything, so you give up, so you're left without a weapon. Didn't register your gun? It gets confiscated. No talk, no sympathy, no alternatives. Replace it with what? A harpoon? Or wait for humanitarian aid from the city that might arrive in a week by helicopter? Telling an Inuit just hunt traditionally is like handing someone a spoon when they need a defibrillator. This isn't care, it's indifference dressed as humanism. The world gazes at the Arctic with wonder. Polar bears, icebergs, the northern lights. A perfect backdrop for documentaries and postcards. But behind the image are real people. When global environmental organizations demand hunting bans, it's not the animals who suffer, it's the families, the children, the elders, those who depend on hunting every day. Walruses, whales, seals, all under international protection. The Inuit can no longer just go out to sea for food. They must navigate a maze of bureaucracy, quotas, licenses, seasons, reports, inspections. Life becomes a game played by someone else's rules, where the cost of losing is hunger and the constant pressure. Aren't you hunting too much? Are you staying within your limit? Did you file your report? But who tracks how much you've eaten, how much you've frozen, how many nights you've waited at an ice hole for a seal? No one. You just want to feed your children. And they say, leave the whale alone, fine. But what about you? You can disappear. You're expendable. Yes, there are tragedies in the north, alcoholism, suicides, domestic violence. But where does this come from? It's the legacy of colonialism, broken cultures, lost languages, forced relocations. It's not a disease of weapons. It's a disease of loneliness, poverty, and shattered identity. And when something bad happens, the solution is handed down. Take away the weapons, all of them, even traditional ones, because that's safer. Safer for whom? For a bureaucrat who doesn't live here? For a politician in Ottawa? Or for the hunter who now can't protect himself or his family? For his children now relying on canned food and government aid? This isn't care. It's an attempt to control what was already destroyed, removing the symptoms without addressing the cause, locking the door after the house is burned down. And here's the paradox. Even traditional weapons are no longer safe. Now they're suspicious, a public safety threat, even though they serve one purpose: survival. Spears, harpoons, bows, bone knives, everything once made from whalebone, walrus tusk, sinew, now banned or tightly controlled. These weren't just tools, they were symbols, legacy, a way of life. A grandfather's harpoon isn't a weapon, it's history, memory, and now it can simply be confiscated. This is how even traditional weapons get banned. Number 1, licenses. To use a spear or harpoon, you often need permission. Doesn't matter if you carved it yourself and were trained from childhood. No paperwork, you're a criminal. Number 2, hunting bans. Hunting a polar bear with a spear? Forbidden. Even if the bear is coming toward your cabin, even if you're protecting your children. The law says don't. The law doesn't ask where you live. 3, international rules. Sure, you can hunt, but only under quota, only with full reports. Number 3, international rules. Sure, you can hunt, but only under quota, only with full reports, only under monitoring, only by someone else's calendar. One misstep and you're a criminal, in the eyes of someone who's never even touched a harpoon. Number 4, community bans. After a tragedy, local councils may temporarily ban carrying knives or spears. Temporarily, but your trip is today. You don't have a choice. No rifle, no harpoon, no chance. And no one asks, what if this is your last opportunity? Even a knife passed from grandfather to grandson can be seized as a dangerous object. That's not preserving tradition, that's cutting it off at the root. Inuit, burning memory under the mask of care. In 2022, in Nunavut, Canada, a local hunter had 3 harpoons confiscated after a dispute with neighbors. One belonged to his grandfather, another he carved himself. Reason? An official complaint citing mental instability. No trial, no evaluation, just a police visit and confiscation. Not rifles, harpoons, no chance of return. For the bureaucracy, a line in a report. For the family, a loss of pride, heritage, and memory. You stand on the ice, tracks in front of you. You know that without a weapon, you are nothing. In 2021, near Hudson Bay, a young hunter named Akalak encountered a polar bear outside a cabin. His rifle had been confiscated due to an expired license. He didn't have a harpoon. Carrying sharp objects required community permission. He scared the bear off with noise and a flare, but it returned that night. His family was evacuated the next day. The bear was killed by wildlife officers with a gun Akalak had needed all along. Funny? Maybe, from an office in Ottawa. You don't ask how to catch a seal. You ask, will police come tomorrow for my knife? Here, law and culture aren't just at odds, they're at war. Everything that was once natural for the Inuit, hunting, knife, spear, is now controlled, monitored, feared. The Inuit must fear not nature, not the bear, but their own government. This isn't a legal dilemma. It's about identity. An Inuit without weapons isn't Inuit. He becomes dependent, helpless, breaks down, and disappears. Just like the songs, the stories, the language, and with them, an entire people, silently. On a signed piece of paper, when you hear Inuit were banned from owning weapons, it sounds like a headline, but behind it, hunger, cold, silence, frozen children, vanishing names, and a disappearing profession, hunter. According to Greenpeace, in 2023 alone, international organizations spent over $300 million protecting marine mammals. Meanwhile, Canada allocated around $2 million for Arctic hunter support, less than 1%. We keep whales safe, but let those who live beside them starve. So who is really endangered here? We protect whales, but not the people living alongside them. We fear weapons, but never ask what it means for someone who has no other way to live. Banning weapons here is like cutting an artery. Here, a weapon isn't evil, it's a lifeline. Taking it away means saying, you don't matter. This isn't politics, it's justice. It's survival. The question is, does a person have the right to live if their way of life doesn't fit our idea of civilization? And if not, who's next to be called obsolete? When the hunter disappears, a language disappears. One that has existed for thousands of years. The stories told by firelight vanish. The knowledge of ice, found in no university, is lost. The ability to survive where no drone or machine can endure fades. A human being disappears, someone more adapted to cold than we are to warmth. Civilization did not arrive on their land with help, but with inspections. Not with respect, but with regulations. We say, live the modern way, but offer no tools to survive the old way. We bring plastic, but take away their rifles. We impose our morality, forgetting that not every morality saves you from hunger. We call hunting barbaric, yet stare at the empty shelves in their villages with indifference. Where meat is a product for us, for them, it's tomorrow. Where we have choice, they have only cold and ice. They do not ask for pity, they ask to be left in peace. Not to have their culture erased under the banners of care. Not to see our humanity become a mask for indifference. While we save the world, we are losing people. We call their life unsustainable. But what's more stable, their knowledge of ice or our climate in 2025? Their sled gliding across the white void or our supply chains collapsing with every storm? They live in balance with nature while we burn it to the ground and lecture them on how to live right. They take only what they need. We build refrigerators to throw out food in a week. They hunt, we consume. So who's the threat? When the hunter disappears, balance disappears. Dependency takes its place on aid, on supermarkets, on prices set by someone far away. Where once a hunter fed a family, now there is only a line for frozen chicken, and with it, shame, fear, helplessness, and a silence where ancestral voices die. We speak of human rights, but deny the most basic, the right to be oneself. We protect animals from hunters, but who will protect hunters from us? There comes a moment when we must ask not just, who are we saving, but what are we running from ourselves? From their truth, from our guilt? As we hand out labels and pass new bans, time runs out. The ones who can survive where we wouldn't last a week are vanishing. We call their world archaic, yet it may outlast ours if we don't destroy it first. This isn't just a fight over weapons. It's a fight for the right to exist differently, for the right not to disappear into a silence no one listens to. If today we decide who is too ancient to live, then tomorrow who will be too poor, too different, too inconvenient. And then the question is no longer about the Inuit. It's about us. Who are we if we cannot make space for others? Who are we if we call what kills compassion? Who are we if we're willing to save the whales but lose the people? And most of all, who's next to be told you shouldn't exist?